Hey, it's Nancy Blanchard with Bose Professional in this comfy house that you see in the background. And we are tonight on the AV Life podcast. We are listening to and watching and going to discuss some great topics tonight. So stay tuned.
Hey, this is Joe Way, and you are watching and listening to the AV Life. I am crew member 3 times in a row now. That is a record for me.
Yeah. Well, Joe, as the host here, Tim Van Wert, I have to be sure that you're up for the challenge of being a crew member, and I think you've met that. So I'm happy that our folks here have been watching and listening to us here on the AV Life. Unintentionally, we're in size order. I don't know how this happened, but we're our videos are in size order, and it's the little things I pick up on. If you don't know what we're talking about, go to YouTube and follow us and subscribe, and you'll see there where everything is. So,
but I have the power to do things like this.
Oh yes, yeah, you and your administrative privileges that I also have, but.
All right, fine. I'll put you. What? Oh, wait. Where are we going?
There we go.
It's like the cart, the
motion sickness.
Follow the ball.
Find the king. Where the king go?
People who are just listening are wondering, like, what just happened?
Yeah. Exactly. This is how you drive viewership to the other platforms.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you a funny story. So we had a North American Teams call the other day. And our one sales manager, I don't know what the functionality is within Teams, but all of a sudden she had certain people, like as if you were sitting like in a theater in seats and rows. So she had me there and she had a couple others. And then the other guys were like, hey, I can pretend like I'm pointing or I'm looking behind and looking at the other person. And so they did that for the whole meeting. Couldn't look at it without laughing.
I remember when that feature came out, like in the middle of COVID, we did the same thing. Like, as we had one of our Teams meetings, and it was like, "Oh, hey, look what we could do!" It's like, yeah, leave it to the AV guys to like start playing with the features. So that's funny. So we're back here for the AV Life. We are days away from people hitting the tarmac and heading out to ISE, and I'm excited for y'all. Like we are going to be recording, so you will get an AV Life episode with the folks that are from HETMA that are going to be out there at ISE. So really excited for that.
You said HETMA, you said ISE, so join us at booth CS220.
There you go.
That's where the recording will be from.
Exactly. So if you happen to be over there, where it's 4 p.m. local time out there. So is the show floor even still open? I don't know how.
Yes, 6 p.m. 10 to 6. This is Barcelona. Everything is later.
See, that's awesome.
No, it's horrible because I am old. Like Amy and I eat dinner at 5:30 p.m. Okay. And restaurants, if you show up at 7, they're still like showing up and like, doing their smoke out back. And then this late night stuff does not go well for me.
But yet it used
to be 10 to 7. And then people were complaining about it. And so they changed it to 10 to 6.
Impressive.
Yep.
So if you happen to be around the area of where the HETMA booth is, and want to stop by, and I'll be here in New Jersey at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll be sipping my coffee while y'all are having your cocktails at the end of the day. But I'll be connecting in and checking in on what's happening and what the vibe is like out there. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that. And our new platform here with StreamYard is making that a whole lot easier than it used to be. So be sure you like and subscribe. Exactly. See, Joe, I need you here as like my producer. Like,
you know what? We're actually going to have a producer on site. We're learning how to do this. So
there you go.
Cutting B-roll ahead of time, doing people, producing on site,
So there you go. So I need to find a volunteer to produce the AV life while we're going here, you know. um so yeah, so speaking of ISE, well, we're just gonna jump right into it. Nancy, because we haven't seen you for a couple weeks. I know you've been on the road and bouncing here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, you were actually at the before we even go to ISE, you were at the HETMA Roadshow in Arizona, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Well,
Yeah.
what was your experience over there this year?
It was good. You know, like as a manufacturer or vendor, it's great to be able to meet the other folks. You know, a lot of them have territories. I have the whole US, so I get to meet a lot of different people and,
Mhm.
you know, establish connections and things. The guys there, was it Jason and the other one, I'm forgetting his name. They were great. They were, you know, if you needed something, boom, they were right there. All the people were good, and all the local like colleges and institutions attended. So
Yeah. Yeah, they always pull a great turnout because they have such a wide variety of universities in that area.
yeah,
That Phoenix group is really coming together as a nice little kind of what we would love to see from the other areas. And Phoenix is really doing that, getting their own little cohort of members. So I love that.
Mm.
yeah. And they did 3 separate tours of the schools that you could go on, and we there was a bunch where you could go and see the planetarium, but you know, while there were regular classes, then you'd have to wait. So there was a group, and there were 3 of us: Hudley, myself, and um, oh, I can't remember the other vendor. Anyways, we actually piggybacked onto a tour, and it was cool. It was really, really neat. It was done with Pink Floyd music.
Oh, planetarium, isn't that just code name for power nap?
Yeah. Unless you're tripping on something, then you can have like a nice ooh moment.
Especially for playing Floyd.
Gummies.
There you go.
But no, and then after, the gentleman who actually runs that got into talking about like different software packages he uses, you know, what he does, you know, like even on the weekends when it's open to, I guess, the public and things. So it was really informational.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I will I always kind of wish I could like just bounce around like you all do to the different
Yeah.
roadshow locations to get to see everybody. So
Yeah.
But then
So
we
I'm
have
glad-
Toronto.
yeah, we got Toronto.
Andy?
What's that date for that again, Joe? I'm drawing
March
a blank.
25th,
March 20th.
George Brown College on the waterfront.
Ooh,
Yeah.
there you go.
And then we have Northwestern
Hmm.
Oh, that's right. In the summer, right?
in the summertime.
I'll be there for that then.
And there may or may not be. Are we breaking the news here? Actually, I broke it already on when I interviewed Jeff. So there might be some European road shows coming.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Huh?
Oh.
And then dare I say Infocom Asia?
Ooh.
Talk about becoming global.
Yeah, that's for sure. Wow.
Very cool. Oh man, so many great things.
Yeah.
See, this is where you come to get the news broken.
And
And then
exactly.
Nancy gets to start texting her boss early. So we
Get
see her looking down. We know exactly what's
Get
happening.
everything booked now. It's like,
Music amplification at the HETMA booth, brought to you by the Bose S1 Pro.
Yeah.
Is it Pro Plus or just Pro?
It's the current one is Pro Plus.
Because I always hear people just say Pro, but then there's a plus sign. So are you supposed to say the plus? You're not
There's
supposed
some that use Pro, still use the first generation, and then there's Pro Plus. And I have to tell you, so the guy at Extron was at the end of the hall where with his table, and I started playing because that speaker, you know, when it starts getting to be a little bit quieter, everybody always likes, I put some music on with Spotify, play some 70s tunes. So I was doing that, and I kept turning it up louder and louder and louder. And then we had somebody at the table, so I turned it down, and I was walking towards the Extron guys, and they said, you know what? We're all looking up going, where's the point source to that? Oh my gosh, that's Bose Pro is playing on that little portable. So Yeah, it's a hit.
Mhm.
And actually, Mesa, they're keeping right now to evaluate the Edge Max LP, the low profile new speaker. They were
Oh,
excited.
I love me an Edge Max.
the Edge Max sounded really nice. Yeah, we demoed it as well at Rutgers. It was a real nice unit.
You get some good, deep sounding tunes like In the Air Tonight. Oh, yeah. You just got to stand around waiting for it unless somebody, clicks to that part.
Yeah, somebody just needs to like have the audio clip of just the drum solo and just have that. Like, I'm sure it exists out there on YouTube. Like, you could probably pull it up, and it's just 8 hours of do 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 do
Yeah.
do.
Well, I actually have a consultant. He put the larger 10-inch back can into his house, and he's in a new house, and he
Mm.
just got 2 low profiles that he's going to install.
Hmm.
You started thinking, that's a great idea.
Yeah, the possibilities are limitless.
But you know what I saw for the first time? So when I came on to Plus 4 Marketing and we were covering Harman, I didn't know what Harman Kardon was.
Mm.
And I walk into the AT&T store today. They've got the speaker.
Yeah.
I walked up to my, oh, that's what it looks like.
That's funny. So yeah, I'm glad you had a great show in Arizona,
Yeah.
and so yeah, we're so going back to ISE. What are you looking forward to there? So and you could also I'm being told, wait, this just in, that there is a code ISE 2025 HETMA for a free show floor pass. And if you go to YouTube and watch this video, you will also see the little cool bottom line that's on here. But so what are you looking forward to heading out to Barcelona, Nancy?
Well, I always enjoy walking around and seeing different manufacturers that aren't in North America to see
Mhm.
the technology that they have, because usually it's very innovative. Meeting up with all the AV tweeps from all over. That's always fun. And going to the HETMA happy hour, going to the AV Nation, I believe their AV.
It's almost like I had it queued up, ready to go.
I wonder if
Almost
he
like
did.
we produced the show together.
The official ISE Higher Ed happy hour on Thursday, February the 6th from 2 to 4 p.m.
In booth.
in
Yeah.
booth CS 220.
And you know what? Meeting my counterparts. So that is going to be really cool because, for one, it's called Kirk and it's a retail space. And so my New York City consultant got in touch with me that they were outfitting one in London, England, plus also Chicago. So that's where you see the smoothness was. I got in touch with the London office, worked with their designer, connected them to my consultant, and just got from an integrator called Onsite. They're in your area, Joe.
Mhm.
They were the ones that actually handled that project, and they told management today when they saw him and said, "You know what? That was really good. That was
Yeah.
smooth."
There's an on-site in my area as an integrator.
Yeah, Onsite
And
Media.
then, oh,
That's where they're based.
on-site's the name of our gun range. So you go shooting. Oh no, that's on target.
They do all of
Target.
the HR stores too, and they're using Edge Max in those or the satellite, depending on the ceiling. So
Very cool.
yeah,
All right. Well, I will say those are some of the things like that I know I'm missing out on, is being able to
yeah,
meet up with my AV tweeps or higher ed folk that are from across the pond, as it were. I was fortunate enough to meet Justin last year at Infocom. But how often do you get to meet that whole and those universities out there have been around a lot longer than our universities have been out here.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, so Joe, what about you? I mean, I know HETMA's got a bunch of stuff going on. And there's been posts every day, at least multiple times a day, about all the different things that HETMA is meeting up with. There's been some great partnerships happening as well. But outside of the HETMA stuff, what about you, sir? And I know you've got your golf thing too that you're excited for.
You know what? Golfing up Prot on Saturday. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
No, for me, well, I'm actually excited. Obviously, the HETMA stuff. So I don't, and excited the fact that we're going to have the booth there and continue to grow the EMEA side. But also, I have 4 of my UCLA leadership coming out. So we are, we're just starting our RFP for our campus-wide upgrade. So we're going to get an opportunity to kind of see and look very strategery-ish. And I think that that's really where it'll be neat to take my team and say, okay, you've seen some things. ISE is a whole different beast of things being released and the timing with our RFP that's released. And so I think that's really kind of what I'm looking at is how can they take advantage of it and kind of guide them through that experience. And it'll be neat to kind of get their point of view because, as it says, I almost don't. I know they're different markets, but it shouldn't be seen as a European show. The budget for them to go is actually less than the budget to go to Infocom.
Really?
Because airfare is basically the same. Hotels are cheaper. It's a non-tipping culture. Food is cheaper. And, same number of days, basically. So there's no difference of going to Orlando or going to Barcelona. And just that show. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to and having them kind of report back on their findings. So.
Very cool. See? Yeah, there you go. See, so the things I know it doesn't match up with Infocom because I know they're like 2 different shows and things like that. But like those are the things that you get kind of excited for a little bit with Infocom as well, is that you see because they can hint at like certain things at ISE that might still be coming out after Infocom, so they can kind of like lead you towards that. But yeah, I always like looking at like the reports from ISE to see like what's coming up because that's usually a good indicator of an early bird type release.
Well, and you have to realize too, I mean, for most companies, this is the beginning of their fiscal year too. So it also makes more financial sense to release at ISE as well, because now you're starting to get the projects come through. Everybody has their new budgets. People kind of have been planning before for this year. So I think that's why you see a lot of neat surprises. And, obviously the things I will not break confidentiality with partners. But I do like, since Higher Ed AV, we get to be press and seeing some of the early embargoed announcements of technologies that will be released is really exciting. So I think that this is going to be a very, I don't like using transformational yet because I don't think it'll be big in the sense of how we did a big transformation out of the pandemic into a new thing. But I think we're going to see a big shift this year.
A shift. I like that. And that's a nice little indicator for a future episode that I'm trying to get together is that we put the I'm half tempted to call it a casket match where we close the lid on COVID. And I might bring in and he doesn't know this guy, I didn't ask him yet, but like a Chris Neto, because he's also a wrestling guy. So, but I think this is, I agree, Joe. And we kind of touched on this a little bit as well, where I think we're at that point now. Like we can say, we're done with that, with COVID, and that we're going to see that transformational or whatever that technology is coming. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see. I'm going to be interested to see like which manufacturer has like, I guess the biggest like surprise, tech.
I'll go out on a limb. I won't give some because I do know some things coming out, but I will say this. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes from a back wall booth.
Ooh, a back wall booth. Okay.
How about that?
That's coming out of left field, which is for another, putting it as another term, but that's interesting. Okay.
That's what I'll say. I think higher ed will be talking about something that comes out of a back wall booth.
Okay.
Well, see, that's where you get, and I was having a discussion with somebody, is that in a way our industry has lost their creativity. It's no longer the Scott Millers and the Rob Shealeys and those that, just come up with, hey, you know what? I haven't seen anything like this. Start tinkering around and boom, you've got a product. So that's where I think ISE is a little bit sort of satisfies that, I guess, versus Infocom. Now, with us at Bose Professional, we're going to be launching 2 new products. So now that we've got our own marketing and our own engineering, we don't have to go through the layers of an onion trying to persuade a certain company to allow us to be able to create products. So now you're going to constantly be seeing things throughout the year where we're like, hey, this is new. This is new. So we're catching up.
I'm looking up your embargoed information, seeing here. What is it? Press has its perks.
Oh man. So yeah, so I'm Joe, I'm interested to see if that's your call. I'm interested to see what that's going to be.
And we can talk about it on Tuesday's show.
Oh, by then we'll know. So there you go.
Once the show floor opens, everything's talkable, right?
There you go. Yeah, it leaks out somewhere, So, wow. So yeah, now I'm just So that'll be that's a cool thought. And
well, I got something.
Oh, go ahead, Nancy.
Yep. Joe, whatever happened to the hologram box? Because there was like an Infocom and that was big and hoopla and everything, and I haven't really heard or seen much.
You don't really know? They filed DK.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't hear that.
It's so sad too. Like, I really thought it had potential. I get why it didn't take off because it is bulky, and I do get some of the, it needed to be a little lighter maneuver. But gosh, I loved it in principle. I really did.
Yeah.
And it was hard. It was hard to create content on it, new content. It was fine for. So I get why, but I'm gonna tell you, it made me sad when I saw the announcement. It already left SC.
And Howie Mandel that he also backed it or whatever.
There's advertisements. And he did their competitor. They're both basically one. They're OEM from the same place, right? In China.
Yeah.
The 2 big names out there. It's the same box, right? But yeah, they went kaput.
No.
I was sad when I saw that, because I really did think there was good potential. I get why at the price point and the size and the complexity and what it took to get it to work, that I understand why it didn't make it. But it was, I always give props to people who take a risk and try to move our industry forward, right? Like, I don't look at that going, oh, it failed. No, it didn't. It brought hologram versus and brought it to us, and now we can move forward from it.
Right, because I think there's still an opportunity for something like that. Yes, that wasn't the exact solution, but like, I've always wanted, and this goes back to my Star Wars love, and that making science fiction science fact, that Princess Leia hologram, we could still do that. Like, I think there's an opportunity there, and I would love to see that happen. Like, that's where it needs to be. And like you said, Joe, this is getting us in that direction.
Yeah, and that's what is a beautiful sound. But so I actually talked to Chi about it after I sent him the press when I saw I sent him the article when I saw that they'd filed the BK, and I told him I was sad, and he actually, well, this is why Chi is Chi, because like he's the smartest person on earth. But he said the same thing is, while I loved it in principle, the ability to really be flexible with it. So he's like, transparent LED, rollable LED, control, work that in with a cloud system and cloud, even like a digital signage platform-ish, but a player that can go to a transparent LED can be so much more movable, have more applications, be able to. So, I think he's right. That that same technology could probably be incorporated in better formats.
Mm-hmm. Well, as soon as like rollable LED becomes more affordable, that's going to be, I think that's where higher ed's going to end up going, like for like your standard classroom. Because I feel like in rooms that like, now I know Rutgers is dated in certain aspects, and one of that is blackboards, and we have rooms that we couldn't necessarily put a display on the wall, but if I had a rolling LED that I wouldn't need to put a projector on the ceiling, I would 100% do that over anything else. But it's about a matter of cost efficiency. So yes, I agree that there's an opportunity in the future for that. Like the price needs to get there too. So
here's a company, if you haven't heard of, remember when I was doing the AI live captioning and translation, and there was nothing like that in the industry. There's a company called Wordly, and they have what we were working on, and there's real promise there. There was a company that I discovered at NAB called Speechmatics, and they're out of England, and it simply was the owner. They're all young, but he had written his thesis on that and then decided, you know what, I'm going to start a company. So as you said, over time, we started the process of the AI translation and captioning real time, but now you've got other companies that have come out with a doable product.
I think definitely in translation, transcription, I think that's where AI has a huge play in our industry.
Yeah. And I'm happy to see that Rutgers has started to embrace AI as well. We're also moving ahead very cautiously as well. We've partnered with Grammarly to be able to, as an enterprise level release, to have it Grammarly available for students and faculty, and to be able to do that. And we've started opening up different pieces, and I think we actually have a full, I'd have to go look for it, but we have a full code regarding the use of AI at the university. So I'm very proud of where we've gone in a very short period of time to get ourselves more adequately stabilized in the world of AI.
The opening keynote of the HETMA virtual conference on February 20th, Wednesday, whatever the date is, 19th opening keynote is me and interviewing and our chief data and AI officer from UCLA. It's actually very unique. We're the only institution to have that role. We brought Chris Mattman over from NASA JPL, where he had a similar role. And in fact, the AV teams fell under him at NASA. So we're going to have a great conversation about AI, open AI, all of those things, the way it can work within higher education. Those who attended my session at ETC at Iowa State got a little bit of a primer. I did a little call-in with him for about 10 minutes. The guy is pure genius. And so that will be the opening keynote for the HETMA virtual conference on February 19th.
Very cool. Yes, to make sure, and it's free. So that's the greatest thing. Yeah, that's what we've always prided ourselves with HETMA, is that it's free. So
for everyone but the sponsors.
Everyone but
for our members.
Yes, they make it possible for our partners, make it possible to do the things that we provide to our members. So without them, we couldn't do what we do. So
and you have cool T-shirts.
We have cool T-shirts.
Yeah,
Nancy,
and
you have your own
scarf,
huh?
The scarf.
The scarf.
The scarf.
The scarf. ISE. We have football scarves too.
I am so excited for that. I saw when you
limited edition, only 150 scarves and only 65 T-shirts. So it's everything is limited because we couldn't fit. First year in Europe, we don't know how their version of Freeman is. Do all that stuff. We're doing a small booth this year where, we'll go bigger next year. So everything is very limited edition. So I'm not using that as a phrase. I'm actually using that by, if you don't pick yours up by noon on Tuesday, you probably won't get one.
So there
That's
you go.
really what I mean.
If you want your limited edition ISE HETMA swag, you make sure you get over to the booth. CS 220. C220.
CS 220. That was correct.
Okay. See, I'm not even going and I got it down already. So there you go.
And the best part about CS is that's actually Spanish for yes is 220. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Who's got the drums?
So there you go.
I need my little sound. I need my little control board here.
Yeah.
Didn't you take Spanish class where they taught if you spell socks, it sounds like you're speaking Spanish?
Yeah.
S-O-C-K-S?
S-O-C-K-S.
No, I missed that. They didn't do that in Canada. I took one term because we were all French majors, and the teacher said, if you decide to take my intermediate, he said, I will fail you, because we all had French accents trying to speak Spanish.
In my Spanish, everyone, obviously LA, everyone does Spanish as their second language, right? I mean, obviously, for the most part. But, and so we go all the way up through, Spanish 4 and whatever, AP, and we all did it. Tell you, I forget every bit of it until I'm drunk in a taxi in Tijuana, and it's not. It comes back to me like you wouldn't know.
See, and then
or in Barcelona, even though they do Catalan.
Well, and then you got small private school in New Jersey where it was like, oh, you had your choice of Italian or Spanish, but it was taught by the same teacher who didn't quite. Some days she didn't know what she was teaching, if it was Italian or if it was Spanish. So you got either one when you were in class. So
well, at least you turned out to be a well-rounded individual.
I did. So yeah. So there's all your high points for the next week. Make sure you hit up the HETMA booth, CS 220. Make sure you're
never going to think of it again when you say CS now, are you?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Just telling you.
I'll be having a siesta and being, taking
while
a
you're
nap somewhere.
At it, visit Bo's Professional at 3 and 200. Easy way to remember, we're across from Shore.
There you go.
Is that supposed to be your? It's not.
That's my thing.
Needed that.
Everybody will be going to Shore, so just look across the aisle and you'll see us.
Oh,
well, for those who may not be as familiar, is there the audio section? Is there the collaborative community? Is that do they have the collaborative?
A different hall. They have digital signage, but
okay.
Bo's decided this year and paid more to be in the main hall versus being stuck in the. And it's funny, I can tell you, is that you're walking through that hall of all the audio and you're thinking, how many more speakers are there on this planet? There are so many manufacturers. But yeah, but the main hall, so you'll have Listen and LeGrand and Shure and all of those. So
cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you know what? We'll start wrapping it up. We'll make it a little bit of a shorter episode here tonight, and wish everybody safe travels as you head out. the plan is you're going to be listening to this as you. Oh, and then there's also the Bo's Happy Hour.
Oh, thank you.
How about that? See,
Yeah.
on the fly.
Salamandra. See, I could roll my.
I couldn't type the whole Eventbrite, you know. www.eventbrite.co.uk/e/bows-work-thing-tickets-1098905559109.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's how you get a ticket.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you'll be there virtually in spirit, Tim.
yes, I will. Yeah, and I will be on I'll be on Twitter or X or whatever, watching what's happening. We will, like I said, we'll be recording. So that'll be Tuesday, 4 p.m. over at the HETMA booth. So go over there and see the folks there, and you'll see me. I just won't be there. I'll
What
just be
time are you at? 4:30?
4 o'clock.
Good, because the tweet up is at 4:30.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's during that time.
Then
So
tweet
then
up. You know, ready for this? Listen to this. IS tweet up 4:30. Bose at 6. X2O Media Higher Ed event at 7 to 11. And you got LTSMG and SCUMS 7 to midnight. You got CTI's Tech on Tap 8 to 11. Like Tuesday night, if you can walk and stand vertical on Wednesday morning, congratulations.
Yeah.
So
And you talk about the party hop of party hops.
bring comfortable shoes.
Yeah. And actually, I saw Daily Do on Twitter posted all of the events. I think it's in their blog. So that's what I'm going to be looking at tonight, because I need to write everything down so I can keep track. And that's the hard part about being the manufacturer with a booth, is because you've got to be at the booth greeting people.
That's what
many
I love
social
about
events going on.
Tell you, being an end user at a booth is the greatest thing ever. It really is. Because when you get the emails, come visit us. Which half hour would you like? I would like no half hour, but you can come see me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I work a booth.
And your booth is always busy. There's always something going on.
That was my biggest takeaway from this last year at Infocom, was just being at the booth and doing, and like it was non-stop, and that was great. Like I loved it. My feet didn't love it when I got home that weekend, but
yeah.
And you know what? Right next to our booth is a custom sneakers manufacturer.
Ooh.
I know, very random that they're going to be there. I think it's a Barcelona-based company. One cool thing about ISE is they actually love to support local Barcelona companies and get them exposure. So they're actually the booth next to us. So we're going to maybe offer them beer in exchange for free sneakers. HETMA sneakers.
Oh.
Yeah. Someone was supposed to reach out and talk to him ahead of time, Aaron, and she dropped the ball. But just kidding. It wasn't really Aaron. It was. But
name drops get retweets.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking, maybe I will take her.
Or maybe it was me. Maybe I was talking to Aaron and I said I would do it. All right, so let's take that back. It may not be. I don't really remember.
No name drop for Aaron. All right. Well, hey, Joe, Nancy, have a great time at ISE.
Yeah.
Safe travels to you. Safe travels to our listeners who are out there, and to all of our HETMA folk and higher ed manufacturers. As you're making your way out there, I hope for good weather. I hope for good times, and I'm looking forward to what fun stuff is heading our way. This is like the official kickoff to the next AV cycle. So Joe, Nancy, thank you again.
Yeah.
To our listeners, thank you, and safe travels. Like I said, safe travels. Be safe. Have a great rest of your week, folks. And as I always say, until our next adventure.